Days after what could be considered her most important State of the State address, Governor Jennifer Granholm joining us live in studio, along with 24-hour News 8 political reporter Rick Albin. Rick?
Thanks, Larry. Governor, thank you for being here. Is that accurate? Is this the most important State of the State that you've delivered?
When I heard that introduction, I thought, every year it seems like somebody says this is the most important one ever because we've been through so many years of economic contraction. I don't know that it's the most important, but I do think we have one of the biggest opportunities that Michigan will ever have with potentially a stimulus package coming from Washington that aligns with our economic strategy. It would enable us to put our economic strategy, really accelerate it, put it on steroids.
What do you think when you hear from people? You know there's a lot of anger out there. Yes. There are a lot of people that are very unhappy. There are a lot of people who are scared. There are a lot of people who are out of work. What do you say to them? Because you said in your speech this isn't going to happen overnight.
Yeah, it's not going to happen overnight. And I know things are tough out there, and it is brutal. And people have lost, so many people have lost jobs. This morning, I just got another text. I get an email every time we get a mass layoff in Michigan. And, I just had another one this morning. I mean, it's our business, not just in Michigan, it's happening across the country now, but certainly we've borne the brunt of this because the auto industry and the challenge, the ripple effect through our economy. So I know people are angry, and I also know that people want to make sure that we are focused on the basics, jobs, 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 and making sure that they have an opportunity to retrain themselves or that their kids have an opportunity to go to college, and making sure that we don't pull the rug out from under the safety net that exists there, many people having to use it for the first time. And so this is why we've put this emphasis on adding employees for unemployment, because it's ridiculous that we have to operate with this old system that's 20 years old and people are finding another insult added to them when they've got to access unemployment for the first time, that now they have to wait in line on a phone for hours before being able to have it responded to. So the bottom line is this year we have an opportunity with what I think the federal government will provide to accelerate our economic plan one time to be able to move forward and put people into work.
You've been down this road before. One end of the State House is going to go along with most of what you want down in the House because you've got big numbers of Democrats down there. Republicans are already saying, all right, you want to be individual energy entrepreneurs, that's going to be too expensive and the cost of energy is going to be too expensive. They're saying you want to combine government agencies, that's fine, but don't combine the agencies that we don't want to combine. You want to do other things in your plan, fine, but you're going to have to do it with cooperation with us. How hard is it going to be to get the folks under the dome in Lansing to say, okay, we can agree on X?
Well, I do think that it's going to require continuous work. You see what the president is doing in a continuous outreach to make sure that he can get input from both sides. These are not partisan issues that we're asking for. I mean, the ability for us to be a leader in alternative and renewable energy is something that Democrats and Republicans support. The ability to diversify the economy, Democrats and Republicans support it. To educate our citizens and have them have a chance at a second career, that's something everybody supports. So it's not as though the philosophies are going to be different. The real question is, where does X project go, or where, what's going to happen in my district? And those are discussions that we'll have to have once the stimulus is passed. Well, there will be a negotiation, but ultimately everyone recognizes the need for urgent action, particularly with respect to those stimulus dollars.
Finally, one of the things, we talked about this earlier, but one of the things that most people suggest would put more people to work most quickly are those road and bridge projects that you like to call shovel ready for the dirt to fly. And we got a bunch of them in the state. But in the stimulus plan, there isn't as much money set aside as both Republicans and Democrats would like to have had. What can you do at the White House level to suggest that they pump that up a little bit?
Yesterday I was at the White House for the signing of the S-CHIP bill, the State Children's Health Insurance Program, and I was talking with a number of people, including the President and others, saying we need more infrastructure dollars in this package. And I think that there is going to be more infrastructure dollars that are putting what the number is, and I was talking to Harry Reid, the head of the Senate, about this. Dianne Feinstein said she has an amendment that she's trying to get through. I think people recognize that that's the way to get money out the door quickly. For some reason, there was an early study that said that there weren't enough projects. Oh my goodness, we could use $40 billion of projects right here. Yeah. So we want to make sure that we get the opportunity to do that and put people to work right away.
Governor, thank you for coming in and talking about this. We'll have you back to do an entire show before very long, but you will be one of our guests this week on To the Point. And thanks again for your time.
You bet.
All right, Larry.